Hello everybody, it is Tuesday, August 2nd, so we're a day behind, but time for our August garden tour. The yard is really a mess right now, and I haven't been out here in a little while either, so it's a tour for me too. But there's a lot happening as far as the plants go. We haven't done too much yet lately, but we got plans. Hopefully we'll get some time in the next couple weeks. But yeah, we'll walk through. House is still not painted. There is a new wind chime, which I'm excited about. The pipe vines are still, they're doing okay. That are growing up the pergola. It's not covering near as fast or as thick as I had hoped, but again, it's only been like a year and a half, so it is doing good. That corner's doing great. This one over here, not as good, but whatever. We're getting tons of swallowtail butterflies from them, so that's cool. And I do love the flowers they have. And I read online that they're supposed to smell really bad, and that's what attracts them, but they don't, which is good. But we'll start over here where we always do. Shell ginger still not doing, oh, there's the sun. Not doing amazing, but not doing bad. It just probably needs to be pruned hard, and it needs better water, but I'm going to be running water through this whole side here because we're going to build new beds out here. But haven't got to much of that yet. It looks terrible. I don't know if I showed this, which we ran out of bamboo last time, but we're making a little fence, which still needs some work, but again, shouldn't have taken it to the house anyway until we paint. So that's cool. It'll be nice, and it'll block out the neighbors. We just got to find some more bamboo poles because we're not ready to harvest yet, but we'll find some. People are always cutting it down and giving it away. Copper leaf, still doing so good. It was getting mites or something, which you can kind of see there. But it's not on any of the new growth, and we put down bear home defense. Bear tree and shrub, something like that. But it gets into the soil, and then the roots take it up, and it gets in the whole plant and treats it, and it seems to be very effective. And any of the bamboos that were getting sooty mold or had any problems, it is working great on that too, so that's good to know. These clearance $5 elephant ears, there's a bunch in there, doing great and making babies, so I can split those out soon and get more plants going. Yellow bamboo, reminisce flavonous or something like that, I think, maybe. Just starting to branch out. Through shoots really quick, and then it's been very slow to branch, but that's okay. It'll do its thing. Monstera is absolutely loving it in there, though. Got giant leaves. And looking beautiful. A couple of different cordyline. Doing great. And you can kind of see this elephant here where it's got all the babies, and we can dig those out and start new ones. Yeah, we've got a couple of plans, which I'll show you once we get to that side of the yard. But this is Dendrocalamus latiflorus, and it's finally shooting. There's one shoot right here, that's a new one. It's just coming up. It's maybe 5.5, 6 foot tall. It's a little taller than me. But we've got another shoot here. There was another one. I don't think that one's gonna make it. I think it's aborting it. But there's a couple smaller ones on the other side. I don't know if you can see. Yep, there's one. There's another one right next to that. Here is another one just starting. I'm supposed to move the camera slower so it's less dizzying. One right there. Oh, there's another one there I hadn't seen. Like I said, I haven't been out here in a little while. But that's exciting. It's still Still working on branching on last year's culms. So I expect a couple of those to be a little bigger than last year, and then as it keeps branching, it'll throw bigger ones. But taking a little while to mature, but doing really good and really pretty. In a couple months, this one will really look good. This is Bambooza Contracta, flopping all over this nice path here, which needs to be cleaned. But if you look, there's lots and lots of shoots just starting to branch at the tops there too. And as those branch out, we'll clear out some of this clutter under here, open back up the path, and it's going to block the neighbors really good. We have still just the mix of cordyline, aliphaneers, some running helicanas, which we potted up some of those. I haven't checked on them, and that was a couple weeks ago, so I don't know if they're alive or not, but we're going to find out. Maybe a peace lily? I don't know. Yeah, it kind of looks like it. And then we've got some random philodendrons that I'm not sure what they all are in there. Purple sweet potato. So we got the Contracta, another copper leaf. There's a Bambooza Banopsis that's really stunted back there, which I was going to take out anyway. Then we've got a whole bunch of... I'm tired. Calatheas. This is like our Calathea path, which we got a couple, and there's a croton. But different Calatheas. That's an agla something. Another Calathea. And then planted in between them, the things with the pretty leaves are painted Rex begonias, which will turn into a mound and fill out, which will look really nice. And more Calatheas. And the begonias, as they get bigger too, we can split up. Same with the Calatheas. There's a big one. And just use them on other parts of the yard too, and just kind of fill everything in nice indents. But it's a work in progress. Hilo Beauty Elephaneer with a bunch of babies. But yeah, that'll be fun. The begonias want nothing to do with sunlight, so this is as shady as we got. There's a Brazil heart philodendron or something like that. I don't know. But so the Dendrocalamus baldus has like 7 or 8 shoots. Some are really big. You can see this isn't one of the biggest ones there, but it's just poking up through and it's starting to branch out. The two on that side were a little bit smaller, and like this one here was really big, and that should get at least 35-40 feet, which is crazy that it's just under 2.5 years old. So we planted them because they grow fast. We can propagate them. They're super lush and cool looking, and we didn't want to wait for trees. All we wanted originally was shade back here, and then it turned into all of this. But for being a 3-year-old plant, there's the new shoot coming out. There's a couple that are going to be that size, but I can't see them all from this angle. But yeah, that's doing awesome. And then we've got the old hammy, which is just as old, but probably a year into being planted, we dug him up and moved him. So he's stunted a little bit, but he's got 3 nice new shoots popping up now, and he should get just as tall as the Valdus to his left, but the Valdus is like sprawling and floppy, and this is way more upright and bushy. But once they're done with the shooting and branch out a bit, we'll go ahead and trim all the lower stuff so you can see the culms and it'll look all pretty. And then this is just a mess of sweet potatoes, Calladiums, monsteras. But we've planted a couple things back here which will look awesome as it gets taller. We've got this variegated spiral ginger, and this is more helicanas, but different types than the one on the back wall. Still a large tropical clumping, but just different flower colors. We'll see what they're have, because some like form big floppy bushes, and some stay more upright. So we'll see what they are. We got those at a local plant sale. That's a White Birds of Paradise, Bambooza Sanana. Finally doing some impressive shooting. And we saw one of those. We went to Island Bamboo in St. Pete, and they had a mature one, which is buried in the back. It's not in their little garden you can see, but we were talking to the guy, and like he let us go back there, which was really cool. But hold on, we got 4 of them. Shoot nice and high now. And before we had power lines, they took those down, and now it's just the cable line. But the first couple of years we had squirrels, they'd play on the combs and it would snap them, and they would never get taller than that just because they kept getting broke. So that's exciting. They'll actually get some height this year. Then on the front of this little bed, we've got Bambooza Sachangi, which he threw out a couple of nice shoots. Which he's got to be, that one's got to be close to 20 feet tall, although when he flops over a little bit as he gets heavier with branches, he'd probably be 15 feet from the ground. And he's got another, there it is, another shoot just coming up. And these, they shot out sideways and then just kind of rounded themselves out straight, which I kind of feel like it's just getting lots of water and fertilizer and is throwing as fast as it can, even if the roots or rhizomes aren't really formed yet. They're just trying to take advantage of everything they got. Could be completely wrong. Then we got a shampoo ginger. It's supposed to be a giant elephant ear. It's kind of normal size at the moment. And this is the emerald Bambooza, starts with an M, I think. Oh no, it's a textilis. Then there's an M. But he's got 2 more just coming up now, and they're just starting to branch out. But once this comes up and we clear out that path, it's going to be a full canopy on both sides, so that's going to look really cool. The back wall still looking amazing. It's only like 6 foot deep. Not going to do it today, but maybe on another garden tour we'll climb back in there and I'll kind of show you the back of it and everything. But the front, Calladium, sweet potatoes, elephant ears, crotons, quarterlines, and there's some gingers, ferns, blood bananas, which are doing awesome. That's those big red leaves back there. And we've got them over there, one out front, some in pots, and then some over there, which we'll get to. But that was all just grown off of one pot for $9, and as it got bigger, it'd pup out. We'd dig out the pups and just kind of move things around. But those helicanas I absolutely love. They've got to be 12 feet or so, and again, they've been in the ground less than 2 years. You give them water and fertilizer and they look good. And then they've got these flowers, which is awesome. Last year, between the helicanas and cannas, I only saw one hummingbird, but I've never seen one in Florida. So that was really cool. I'm hoping we'll see some this year. Burl marks, Alexander palms, the Textilis gracilis back here. I guess we're just going back now. Not all the way through, but just kind of, I'll give you a little peek. But if you look at that's Textilis gracilis, this one's so much bigger. And these should get every bit of 25-30 feet. And I've got a separate sprinkler line back here between, it's pretty much a line of Textilis gracilis, and then a line of helicana and banana, and then all the stuff's planted in front of it, which I need to get in there and clean it up a bit too. And then as the bamboo gets closer and closer to the fence, like that's pretty close, as it matures, I might cut that culm out, and again pot it up, propagate it, make a whole new plant, but just so that it doesn't get into the neighbor's yard, because I mean it's already gonna be a little bit intrusive just because it's going to flop over their property considerably as it comes up. But yeah, I absolutely love how this back wall is looking, and this time of year it's just so lush and great. There's the old boat, needs to go away. But to block sight lines, because we're going to put a shed back here and then you're looking at the neighbors, it's kind of outlined in white. We're going to put in an extension pretty much around here and have it, well, I'll show you. It'll kind of follow around here and go back into this little area here. And that way we can plant a bamboo in the middle and put in a water feature and kind of make it to where just if you're in the back, it blocks those sight lines. And it'll be really cool to make a waterfall back here, and we've wanted to do that for a long time. And finally we will. So that'll be cool, but that's months down the road. Hopefully after it cools off, because it's been a lot of the days, because we really only work out here while the baby naps. It's been like 100 degrees, like not exaggerating, or feel like the actual temperature. We've got a weather monitor and it's been 100, so the feel like's been 110 or so. This is another one of those Dendrophloris validus. This one didn't take off as much as the other one, but it is still doing great considering it's 25 foot at least. Just starting to branch out now, and that's really going to block a lot of sight lines. And once the shoots on this side and this side come up by the end of the year and branch out, we're going to have a considerable amount of shade. The last Textilis gracilis on the wall is actually visible, where the other ones are kind of buried, and it's just got that pretty little form. It's weird. I planted this one maybe 6 months before the other 5 that are back there, and it isn't throwing near as big of shoots, but it's throwing a lot more. It's just growing very different, and I don't know what's causing it, and I'm sure it'll all even out eventually, but that's just thick and dense. We got a new pressure pump or pressure tank for the well because the old one broke, but hopefully for now everything is working great. Getting water 4 times a day for free, just pumping out of the ground, so none of this would be near what it is if it wasn't for that. So hopefully it stays working well. These are black ruffles, elephant ears, those running helicanas, and what are those? Teacup elephant ears. All looking a little rough, but bouncing back nicely. We propagated all of those last week, but 2-3 hours of work and we've got 30-40 plants. We'll use half of them around the yard, sell the other half off, and then just tuck that money away for other plants. So just a hobby that pays for itself. Really pretty cordyline. Got more shampoo ginger back there. This is the Dendrocalamus latiflorus triple hybrid. Shooting up nicely. Just starting, it's about to branch out. Hopefully we get some more soon. Some macho ferns we propagated up. It doesn't look bad like that. But it's all coming out of this bed here, which is just shell ginger elephant ear of different types, and that macho fern, which is gigantic. And then that's all growing around the areca palm. Oh, there's a shampoo ginger flower over here, I think. And I want to try using it as shampoo and seeing what it actually does, but I have not yet. And again, these haven't been in the ground that long. But that's the flowers without the petals, and then I think it turns red or it changes a little bit, and then you can do that, and we'll do a video about that maybe, or at least if it is not terrible. Barrel mark philodendron. Okay. New plant stands for inside the shade house. I just haven't had time to clear it out and put them in, but that'll free up a lot of space and get things off the ground so it's not just rooting in the dirt, which is nice. Down this path here we have possibly a copperleaf, but now I kind of think it's a Jamaican croton too. We'll see. And then there's a real croton that's very unhappy, but that happens. Dendrocalamus gigantus, still just those 2 shoots. Another Dendrocalamus latiflorus. He's got 2 shoots right now, I believe. Yeah. One there. And then one that's just right there is where he's poking up to. The blue ice cream bananas, forgot about them too. They're doing great. I need to do better about splitting off pups because I don't want this grove to get too big. And it desperately needs to be trimmed. Wow, okay. I need to get out here more and do more work. But we'll keep going down the path. Then it's just some bromeliads and cordylines, and the lighting started off good and it's bad now because it's so sunny, but that's okay. Ooh, this is the Yin Yang Bamboo, Bambooza eminus varividus or something like that. It's got a couple new shoots. There's one there, and my wife told me there's another. Oh, it's over here. A little bit bigger than the last set, but still not going to be big yet. But that hasn't been in the ground too long. And it's kind of in a weird spot, but it'll get big. Shade house is full of stuff. Cannas, copper leaves, whatever those are. Got a bunch of shampoo gingers. More mojito elephant ears we split up off the one that's by the front path there. I'll show you. Got a blood banana, a couple of those blue ice creams. Some philodendrons and elephant ears. More copper leaves. More ferns. And then the golden Hawaiian bamboo. Still just that one shoot. But he's getting big. That's almost as tall as he's going to get off that one. There you are. Okay. But it's pretty yellow with green stripes. And hopefully he gets another shoot or 2 this year. Well, that one's just... Before we put in the shade house and the irrigation over there, he was just baking in the sun and not getting water, so he's way stunted. Bird's nest fern we gotta put somewhere. That'll go in the new bed probably. That'll like it by a waterfall. Vegetable garden looks awful, so we won't talk about that. Helicon in the back corner's doing good. It's thundering. Hopefully we get some rain. This is the gold stripe Bambooza multiplex. I cleared that all out because it was bad with sooty mold. Put down that stuff I told you about, the bare tree and shrub. It's not diseased anymore. It's doing good. It's just floppy and I don't love it, and the multiplexes I don't really like anyway. Probably dig that out and just try and sell it or something. We'll see. But this thing is doing absolutely phenomenal, and it has a huge branch on it, or a culm on it too. That is the Chinese dwarf, and I mean that's every bit of 20 foot, so not very dwarfy, and that's only, it's been in the ground less than 2 years. So we'll see what it actually matures at. And I know everybody chops them into hedges. I don't think that looks good. We'll back trim it a little bit so you can walk underneath of them, see the culms, and just see what he does if we let him get to full size. But that's him down there. Calladiums, a lot of weeds. Desperately need to fix that. Our Buddha belly's branching out. That's the shoot from this year. This is the one from last year. And we have another one from this year. Let me get down here. Oh, I don't know if it's bigger than the other one. It might be the same, but progress. And then more blood bananas and cannas and bromeliads, which this bed's really not looking great at the moment, but if I can get it weeded and mulched next year, it'll really start to look good. There's a copper leaf. That thing. Cordylines and crotons and sigoniums, and not too much, but that's okay. Pothos is growing up the tree and looking great. We got this thing. Again, I'm sorry, I'm really tired today. But this is the backside of that same place we were getting the ferns. And I can't wait for some of these other, how this is nice and dense and you can't really see past it. That's what a lot of, like this area and this bed and then the bed over there will do, so that it just kind of walls it in and makes it more like you're walking through like a jungle path. Same as when the bamboos get taller and create more shade, and then we can do some cooler shade loving plants too, because almost everything I really like that we've got going here, other than the bamboos and the helicanas, are shade plants. So and then these are the Bambooza Laco Timor Black, just branching out now. The tallest ones, they're probably 20-22 feet. This one shot a little bit later, so it's not branching yet, and they're not quite as big, but still, that's going to be really cool when those come up too. And yeah, by next year or two, it's really going to transform. This whole backyard is. But yeah, mojito, elephant ears, listerous elephant ears, sweet potatoes, caladiums, bromeliads, cordylines. Oh, I guess we'll go peek at the front real quick. It looks kind of silly still, but so did this all. And I think, what did we, April, January, February, March. I think it was March or April. So we're almost 2.5 years of this garden being here. And before that it was just dirt. Just baked in the sun. So maybe when we get to the actual 2-month anniversary, we'll try and do a little slideshow with pictures of what it was and what 2.5 years can do if you choose plants like this. But yeah, it's a great time of year other than the extreme heat. And it was really dry all spring and early summer. But coming along, it's gonna be nice. And then we gotta clean it up too. So yeah, let's go peek up front. And I'm really excited to get this side going too. I kind of want to get a couple palms too. And find a place for the garbage can so it doesn't just, it looks really trashy right now. But, oh, I gotta get these gone too. There's some plants we dug up where my wife did at her brother's house. And we're just gonna rehab them and resell them. But, traveler palm. Still working on the mulch pile, but it's more manageable now. The elephant ears, all of the ones that are in the front, we split off the ones in the back. And just chopped the trunk out and potted it up until it got roots and then moved it up, and it's doing absolutely amazing. Got a cordyline, some crotons, sweet potatoes, monstera. It's got a long way to go still, but the, what is this? Hold on. Angel Mist bamboo. Really taking off and looking awesome. It's going to be close to 10 feet tall, and that has not been in the ground long. This is the Giga Whatever Black, the other black bamboo. Although now that they're getting more at the nursery, we'll have to get some other varieties too. This is Robusta. And then we've got the Striata over there. And see, like I was talking about with the blood bananas, there's like 4 or 5 pups just right there. And if we let them get a little bit taller than this one, then dig them out, they'll start whole new colonies like that, and you just get an unlimited supply. Other than that, it's just generic little plants up here. It's not pretty yet, but this is how the back started out. And just over time, it'll get bigger. We'll keep adding more plants and fill it up, and it'll be a lush tropical oasis as well. So, yeah, that's really all I got this week. Yeah. On this side, a couple of palms. We want to put a palm in the front yard too, in front of the big window. But that's all in the future. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all are having a great summer and doing wonderful. And we'll see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye.